So this is my review of the cold steel machete katana. I got this to complete my Demon Slayer Halloween costume, and it's only 40 bucks, and it's a legit sword, and it takes care of all your sword needs, like functional. It's like a machete. I just hacked a bush apart with it. And it got stuff that the hedge trimmer didn't get, and it would legit like slice through pretty big limbs, and you can use it as a chance to like study swing mechanics and stuff. It works really great on banana trees. That is a lot like slicing into flesh. The blade swims a lot longer going through the banana tree, sort of like it would through a thigh or a torso. So you can practice getting the blade to go in and really maximally cut through water in the banana tree grass, the banana grass. I guess it's technically a grass. And so it's like heavy duty. If you can cut a tree down with it, it's like fine for like bones, right? So it really covers just like all of your sword needs, and I think it was like 40 bucks, maybe 60. And I think it's a really high quality, super well functioning sword. I got a guando, which is like a little bit heavier sword on the end, super fun. And yeah, you can use it to LARP. It's very bladed. Bladed movement has such a purpose. It really comes to a point. Like bladed movement work has a fine point. And so sword work is really useful in honing the precision and the accuracy of your consciousness, right? The blade comes to a point. That's why you're able, like your attention at the end of the blade is so focused that it rips reality in half. So like while you're holding that, you can do that. So all these subtle distinctions that I'm like asking you to make philosophically or physically between like your consciousness and your body, or your water and your spirit, or your breath and your water, or your water and your body, you have to tell those things apart, right? Like that's a big deal with my stuff, is like you have to be able to feel your water independent of your body, right? It does exist in there independent of it, and you can feel that. But that requires making the distinction between the body and the water. And so when you're having a blade, your consciousness is capable of making much sharper distinctions. So when you do exercise or stuff with a sword, you'll find that your ability to focus in on technique of like, oh, what should my heel be doing when I move? What should my hip be doing? Like, what's the correct technique? You'll find when you have a sword and you're using it for the purpose of that sword, so you're like, I want to slash and I want it to be, whipping, my body be behind it, you want it to cut. Then it's really easy to, with that blade, to see like, oh, what's the correct lunge, right? Like do it with a blade. And you will be able to cut inefficiencies. You'll be able to cut and perceive differences between things simply from the act of holding the blade, and that blade gives your consciousness the ability of a blade. It becomes more blade-like. At very least, when you pick up a blade, you become more blade-like. And so there's a lot of different tasks that are way easier if you have a blade. And so a lot of those tasks are, if you're doing, therapy or whatever, movement therapy, And so everyone likes picking up and just swinging a sword, and you know, people think you're like, oh yeah, you think you're good. And it's like, the reason people like picking up and swinging the sword is because everybody's better with a sword. Everybody has more focus. That's why it's more fun. That's why it's fun to pick up a weapon, is because it gives your attention a type of focus, a type of reach. Or like picking up a stick. So everyone likes playing with it. And of course, if you're derpy, you're going to be better when you pick up a sword, and a person who's better than you that picks up the sword is going to be better than you at picking up the sword. But that doesn't mean that the sword is still not incredibly useful to you, even if you're not the best. And so even, it's like you see, oh, that's where that distinction is, and you can make that, you can keep that distinction without a sword. Right, and that's what it feels like to be like alive, on point. It's that same thing that a knife fight brings out.